Hello class. Hello class. My partner Caitlin Facio and I, Jennifer Loesa, will be presenting on Phylum of Chaetognatha. Chaetognatha, also known as arrowworms, have only 100 species. This number is very small compared to other phylum trees that we've been learning about. They have 3 layers of tissues, making them triploblastic. Their body symmetry is bilateral. They have a mouth and an anus, making them a complete gut. There are transparent creatures that can grow up to 12 centimeters, and they are coelomates, making them have an empty cavity. The very first records of Chaetognatha were made by a Dutch naturalist, Martinus Stieber, in 1775. The group name was proposed by Lucro, 1854. But where do they really fall in the phylum tree? They are multicellular, they are true tissues, they are bilateral, and they do have a coelomate. But the question is, are they prostrosomes or detrosomes? And it's been a debate that's been going on for years.
So, if Chaetognaths are protosomes or deuterostomes, well, they actually share a deuterostome embryogenesis, similar to that of humans, since the forms first from the blastula rather than the mouth. But recent phylogenetic studies using the nucleotide sequence data place Chaetognaths within the protostome as a sister taxon. And they have suggested that the branching occurred near or at the base of the line of the protostomes, while others claim that they branched before the split of the line of the protostomes or deuterostomes. However, it's strongly suggested that they're strongly suggested to share protostome affinities. However, their evolutionary position remains uncertain. Chaetognaths are actually large planktonic marine predators. They are ecologically important because they eat copepods, besides from other small fish and other planktonic species. They can also eat other arrowworms. They are usually suspended motionless in water, and they can either be pelagic, where they live in open sea, or they can be benthic, where they live above the deep ocean seafloor. And they usually do diurnal vertical migrations, which they rise to the surface at night and they sink during the day. However, they don't really swim like a fish. They do hop sink swimming, and this consists of like brief swimming bursts, and then they slowly sink, and then they burst again, and then they sink again. And this is probably affiliated as a prey search behavior. They also have luminescent clouds to startle prey or to get away from other predators, and they are also toxic to quell prey.
Now, the head anatomy of Chaetognatha consists of hooks, or also known as chitinous spines. They are located on the lateral region of the head, and the hooks consist of singular layer of cuticularized cells that do not molt. They also have cuticular teeth located in the center of the head. Both the teeth and the hooks are movable and spread open to capture prey. They snap shut very quickly, and this action is done by having a muscular fold on the body while the head. They feed on zooplanktons and copepods and fish eggs. It tracks prey by having many ciliary fence receptors made by of tiny cilia and used to detect any disturbance in the water. They are composed of 3 main parts: the head, trunk, and tail. They lack appendages but have a complete gut. Alongside the body, they have a sensory bristle that helps them sense any disturbance in the water. There are four large groups of striated longitudinal muscles along the body wall of the trunk and tail. And what separates these muscles is a layer of squamous peritoneum. Even though the Chaetognatha is mostly motionless, they move by using their caudal fin to swim towards the prey. They have two pairs of lateral fins and are made up of epidermal folds that cover the extracellular. Their entire body is covered by a thin cuticle that is secreted by the epidermis. They lack blood circulation system, respiratory system, and excretory system. They have an inner lining cavity that is ciliated, meaning the gas exchange and nutrients transports are achieved by circulation of coelomic fluids. Interesting fact though, what's interesting about the anatomy of the what's an interesting fact about the arrowheads is that their anus, instead of being located at the end of the tail, the tip, it's actually located above the tail. And what's important about their anatomy here is that they're transparent and they're motionless, and because of this, it keeps them away from most of their prey. And being able to swim only upwards helps them capture prey and having sensors also helps them capture their prey. I messed up a lot. Okay.
So chaetognaths are hermaphrodites. They can act either as a male or a female. However, it's most common to see them cross-fertilizing rather than self-fertilizing. Their ovaries are typically found in coelomic cavities within the trunk, while the sperm are stored within the tail. The male gonads mature first before the female gonads, and under optimal conditions, chaetognatha pairs can mate each day. So the life cycle of a chaetognath actually is quite peculiar, like any other organism. Before mating, they do this preliminary visual signaling behavior to let their future partner basically know that, oh, I'm not here to eat you, I'm not here to attack you in any way, I'm just here to make babies. So then when the arrowworms are in contact, the spermatophore, which is a cluster of sperms, is released by the rupture of the seminal vesicles, which are embedded in the lateral body wall. It attaches to the surface of the partner's body, and sperm leave the spermatophore, and then they migrate to the female gonopores, and fertilization happens. Once fertilization happens, it usually takes about a day at the most, for the eggs to release into the water column via the gonopore. However, one species of chaetognaths, which is Euchronia, they brood eggs in pouches formed by their lateral fins, as we can see here. On figure A, you can see these lateral fins, and on figure B, you can see the little eggs. They directly develop. They're basically mini chaetognaths, and they're called hatchlings. Their lifespan depends on the region of where they're located at. They usually thrive in polar waters rather than tropical waters. So for questions, we have two questions. The time to think. What are some characteristics that help chaetognaths to be a predator despite its small size? Or, another question. question. What are three main parts of a Chaetognath's body?
The answers are, or this is a good time to stop. The answers are the what the answers are what are some characteristics that help the Chaetognatha to be a predator despite its small size? It's that they're fairly complex nervous systems, their hooks, and the caudal fin that allows them to move. What are the three main parts of the Chaetognatha body? It's the head, trunk, and tail.
And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.